Welcome, everybody. This is Christ 169. Sorry, darn dogs had to go out. To come in when I come in, they got to go out when they got to go out. Okay, now let's get this one down. Christ 169. I'm starting a new series called. I'm gonna call it Defunct. These are the companies that are no longer with us. Today I'm starting with Toys R Us. I know I didn't put it in the credits or in the film, or what you call it, the caption shot there, but we're gonna play it by ear. Okay, we're gonna play it by ear now. Now, what happened with Toys R Us was something basically could happen to any company. We've seen this recently with now GameStop. GameStop is now suffering the same problems that it's just something that they dealt with over the years, that they're finally in the death throes of losing their business and going out of business now. That Toys R Us, Radio Shack, Circuit City, Kmart, and Sears have pretty much now been destroyed. Target was close to that area. Almost have been destroyed if they didn't change the policies on the old men and women's bathroom. But that whole now I'll cover that one in a whole different series. But this series here is titled Defunct. This is episode 1 of season 1 of Defunct. I'm Price 169. My name is Mark. I'm coming to you live with Power Spectrum Internet. Um, Power Internet. Um, my review of Spectrum TV service is coming up. Again, to give you a little forefront of what my criteria is going to be. In a couple months, actually past that, a couple months, my internet review will be coming up around September. Around that time, I may do it in October, but I'll do it early September, late September or October. I'll do my Spectrum review of my internet I have with them, because I bought TV in June, or did that one already. Now I bought the internet around September, right? I went to the internet September of 2016, 2017. So I've had it since then. But I will give you guys in-depth review on that one, and then I do every year. So every year I'll have one coming in, and you'll know that is coming in for that. So you'll know what's going on there. Now, let's get taken care of. Let's get down to seriousness. Now, what was happening with GameStop? I mean, Toys R Us. Toys R Us was a company that was very expensive. In the 80s and 90s, they flourished. They were around for many, many decades. Well, here's why Toys R Us started in April of 1948. Yes, I'm reading Wikipedia because I researched it, but then again, I was busy all weekend working, so I read what I could. Charles P. Lazarus founded the baby furniture retailer Children's Supermart in Washington D.C. During the post baby boom, because after World War II, a lot of people came home and started having children. My father was born in 48 or 47. Part of that baby boom. World War II opened the first stores 2016 at 2461 18th Street, receiving requests for customers for baby toys. So Toys R Us was actually about babies. It wasn't about toys. Around 57, they focused their first Toys R Us dedicated to exclusively toys rather than furniture. They went, I know I'm reading this from Wikipedia, but I'm also reading it from the fact that I have some notes right here. And, yes, they did open a Toys R Us around the 50s, around late 50s, early 60s. They opened their first Toys R Us. The logo, Toys logo, which featured the R, was spent to the child that a child wrote. The original Toys R Us store design in 69 to 89. And it shows, different logos on the side here. But for a side note, though, Toys R Us was very expensive. Toys R Us was very expensive. They were not Easy Toys R Us to deal with. Um, in the 21st century, in 2000, they launched a unsuccessful expansion plan of the chain, making it generally from a Walmart and a Target. Toys R Us splitting the baby business. Now, and no, you saw the store next to called Baby Toys R Us. They had two stores at one time until they started consolidating them together. They had two different stores at one time. I remember that. 'Cause I knew Massachusetts in Newport News, Virginia, where I lived at. They had two separate places, but later on they combined them both together. Because of that reason, though, uh, uh, it is hard to understand how people can think Toys R Us was relevant back then. Because in this day and age, you go to Amazon, you can buy it like that nowadays. In the days of Amazon and online ordering, and that's where it's king. That's where it's king. That's where you have a lot of people ordering stuff online nowadays. But especially back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and especially 80s. In the 80s were the biggest, best time for Toys R Us. They were ruling. They had the hammer down. Walmart was around for a while, but they were not the the echelon greatness of toys they are now. Um, and Toys R Us, they had a lot of issues. I read some. I read. No, I read Wikipedia, and I'm reading it again, and because I like Wikipedia, I read a lot of that because it has a lot of information about the companies. I can search for hours online or type in Sears, Kmart, Toys R Us, GameStop, whatever, and literally see what I want to see, and and decipher from that, and roll it into a ball, in my mind, then put it on you guys, let you guys know what I think about it. Because I went to Toys R Us back around the late '90s, over by Governor Square Mall, and I bought a game. Saturday Night Slam Masters, Super Nintendo, great game. Love the game. Loved it. No, I love wrestling games. Um, Game that are awesome. Okay. Um, it's just something that I like, and I ain't shopped there all the time. Um, of course, 21st century to improve their stuff, they stayed open 87 hours during Black Friday, uh, Christmas. 8 days for Christmas. They stayed open for 87 hours straight. 8 days for Christmas in 2011, and you kind of knew something was going on back then. So 2011, we were starting doing started doing a lot of online ordering was starting then. It was starting up. And, Amazon was getting his feet in and really going at a point in time. The movie cycle from Netflix from DVDs to now watching streaming has been up for a while, since 2009. So they've been having a good year. Blockbuster finally closed a lot of stores and went away the dodo. Um, it's really sad though, because around 2017, September 18th, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They were two. They started to flex for a $5 billion to long-term debt to $2 billion. They couldn't pay suppliers. Annual income 2013 reported a loss of 164 million in the quarter ending April 29th, 2017. And GameStop, side note here, GameStop lost 2018 over close to $600 million. So it's safe to say that if you're a GameStop employee, you're looking at you're looking at we're watching my video and watching and hearing about Toys R Us. You see your company on here. Someone like me, some fat guy like me, ramble on about it. Um, but I do thank you guys watching it. Obviously, you're watching now or later on. Um, and that does bring people a lot of pause to really sit there and pause and think, you know what, something's wrong here. You cannot really. It's hard. If people say, well, Mark Crisis, You might ask yourself, how is Amazon doing so well? And and the founder is the richest person in the country and the planet practically. How is that possible? And of course, I chime in and say, no brick and mortar stores. See, Toys R Us, GameStop, Sears, Kmart, Circuit City, Radio Shack, even ones are doing good like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, Sam's Club, Rural King, all the companies I mentioned, that the first 8 of them or 5 of them are gone, but all of them have one thing in common. One thing in common. They have brick and mortar stores. Amazon, all they have is brick and mortar fulfillment centers. I work in a a fulfillment center for my company. I've been there for 14 and a half years. We're changing with the times. We knew that the company I work with knew, we need to do something other than this, or we become the next Toys R Us or the next Kmart or Sears. So they changed, and their profitability is doing real well. Um, and they're increasing profits, and that's always good to increase profits. But Amazon didn't have to do that. They have their own truck drivers now. They have their own fleet. They have their own drivers driving around in those Mercedes vans. They have those people. They can do that because they have the money to do so. Toys R Us, didn't give a thought in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that in 2018, 2017 to be filed for bankruptcy in the United States and Canada, shutting down all stores. The one store over there by the mall, is next to a Chuck E. Cheese. Now it's now it's Ashley Home Furniture store. Toys R Us was going to come back, and the sign came back on there. Then they took it down. They announced they're coming back, but it didn't work. Um, but what happened was 2018 they closed. 2017 they tried to file bankruptcy. They shut down our main stores. After 7 years of operation. July 2018, they reported the unknown beneficiaries had bought out all the remaining stock of 2 locations in North Carolina so they could donate to charity. 2018, Fortnite noted that the absence of the retailer as holiday season approached $4 billion chunk of toy sales. So essentially, and establish temporary pop-up stores under a brand and until branding Toy City. Some of the what's filling vacancies left by Toys locations. So essentially, in November 18, a company, two people bought locations in North Carolina and called them Toy City. Once again, we had a place called Digital City here to take the name of Circuit City. That thing went defunct in a while. I'm not going to mention it because to me personally, it's the exact same thing. You just changed the name. So I'm not going to mention this company. I'm not going to research this Toy City because it's a weaker Toys R Us in my mind. And that's saying something though. But Toys R Us went out of business because in many different things. Yes, the rise of the the online shopper. Customers are tired of going to stores, finding no help, and having rude customers, service associates, tell them it ain't their job or whatever the hell the reason is, and they help them and they walk away and they point. Only monkeys point. If you get a monkey, you walk them to the destination and you show them it. You let them play with it. You give everything to them except the reason to take it home and use it for a while. That is what you do in retail. And Toys R Us didn't do that. Of course, then again, Toys R Us just sold toys. Now, they didn't sell like Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart. They didn't sell lumber and milk and eggs and cereal and bicycle. It's probably sold bicycles, probably. But, You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a buffet of different things you can go and get. Where in Toys R Us, it was just toys, and they made called bicycles, made some helmets, and made some baby crap, and that was about it. That's how that's all you got from them, and that was it. Nothing else was there. Um, and Europe company really had 26 stores. Kingdom really had issues. Australia, Asia, they had issues all over the place. And what in closing on this, because it's not a very big video, because they filed bankruptcy. Um, Founder was Charles Lazarus. Headquarters were in New Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey. 10th of 2020. Um, what is the story about this? What is the ruling? What could have happened differently? And with my thing was, I'm gonna get in with Circuit City next, and they're a very big one. Circuit City and Radio Shack are the two biggest ones in my list of things we look at could happen to you. But not changing with the times, not being competitive to Walmart and places, Kmart, and even to a Target, not having great customer service, um, and like I said, not keeping up with online technology. People are shopping online in 2011, believe it or not. Online sales were creeping up a little. Yes, they sold games and sold tons of games in there. But so did Walmart, so did Target, so did Kmart, so did GameStop. No name says it all. They're GameStop. So you have those things. And because of that situation and because of what was going on, and because of the situation at hand, and because what was going on with Toys R Us, they could not withstand their own weight. They had debt they acquired. They bought, like Circuit City bought other floundering companies. Look at Sears or Kmart. They bought each other out practically, and that caused their demise. Well, some demise Sears. Um, Sears is still around somewhat. Kmart, I don't know for sure. Probably still around a little bit too. But their demise is is well known in annals of retail history. For Radio Shack. Now, I want to watch Die Hard 2. I made a comment and oh, we need to try this or make a run down to Radio Shack. Because in the 90s, Radio Shack was still around and very popular. Kids today, you don't even know, who are younger now, won't even know what Tia and what Toys R Us was. They surely ain't going to know what Radio Shack was or Circuit City. So in closing, companies really have to understand that it's not about the money, get the money. Because a lot of companies tried that. Like a lot of companies tried that. The GameStop. They sell used games. Now they can't give away used games. You can buy games cheaper on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, even the Switch than you could buy it in store. So in closing, before I leave, and tomorrow I'll start with Radio Shack or Circuit City, by Circuit City. I'll read up and I'll bring up the Wikipedia again, and I'll read from them, and because I'll read it before I start the video, but I usually like having it in front of me. So I know any key bullet points come up, I'll let you guys know, because things change. I read it all the time. I find something new on here. Like, oh, well, I didn't know that happened to that company. But the option in retail is not a bad thing. Retail is done going away. not as it was back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We are ushering in a new era of online ordering. See, I work at the direct fulfillment center, so my job is pretty much online and store orders. So I'm pretty protected. But a lot of associates in the stores are not. See, you go in the supply chain is like a Amazon because all they have is that, or you're driving around in those Mercedes vans. Um, there is no store. Now, I was talking to a charter guy, about 2 days ago, because the cable went out. I had a power outage. And knocked the cable out. There's no cable line, no cable going to the tap because a couple houses down, because it's fed that way going this way. So my tap was dead. It was dried out. It was dry. Call this guy, fix it. We're discussing how Charter is having to probably get out of the TV market and go into the internet because internet is becoming king. People buying wanting TV on a computer, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. So, and he even said about 4 or 5 years, you might now you have cable boxes. TVs might have cable box built in. Xboxes, PlayStation might have already built in. Tuners already built in. You just plug it in and watch what you want to watch online. So you don't even have to have it anymore. So, everything is changing. It ain't just retail, folks. Everything around retail is changing though too. Even fast food restaurants are getting to the point where they're having push button kiosks. So I'm trying to say in closing, guys, that as we change, you need to change too. And companies need to change. Go to school, get a degree in something of a field that you want to get into. Companies out there, please hire associates who care about their jobs. So hire people. Well, I'm just now I'm just here to draw a check. Oh, that doesn't help your company. Now I've been with my company for 14 and a half years. I've seen it in '05 right now, and it's changed a lot. I've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad, and also a lot of in between stuff. So, guys, this is Christ169, aka Mark, saying peace, love. Tomorrow, I'll make another video on what time. I do it when I do it. Um, and head on down to the bottom there. While you're down, leave a comment below. And while you're down there, like, subscribe, turn on notifications on, ring that bell. Helps the channel a lot. Subscribe to my channel. Spread the word. Share this video with everybody, your friends. Of course, don't watch the video when you're driving a car. Share it on your time. Share it with your friends and who like who like talking about business. The fun businesses. And tomorrow will be season 1, episode 2 of Business Defunct. It will be Circuit C tomorrow. I don't know. I'll get to you as quick as I can. Let you guys know when it will be up and on. Just why I say like, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when my videos become available. This is Christ169, aka Mark, saying, see ya. When I see ya. Peace out.